Welcome to Oops, I Adulted, the podcast for those who find joy in grocery store sales and grapple with the existential realization that you now make the same noises as your parents when standing up. We're here to remind you that nobody truly knows what they're doing. We're all just tall children with credit cards and back pain.
Welcome back to Oops, I Adulted, and today we're diving into the terrifying statistics behind why you've started organizing your spice rack alphabetically just like your mom. Well, according to research across a comprehensive 15-year study of around 450 adults, exactly 97.8% of us will exhibit significant parentomorphic symptoms by age 40. That remaining 2.2%, they're either orphans or probably lying to themselves. Parentomorphosis is the scientific term for turning into your parents, and according to research numbers, it's not a question of if, but when. In 2019, Johnson's study documented that a precise 82% of adults have experienced the phenomenon of hearing their parents' voice emerge from their own mouth when addressing misbehaving children, pets, or government officials. But here's where it gets statistically fascinating. That percentage jumps to 94% when subjects go shopping for home improvement. Oh yeah, that's right. You're 12% more likely to channel your dad's opinions about proper pipe selection while browsing through a Home Depot. And personally, you can start a counter to track your own parentomorphic episode during weekend do-it-yourself projects. My current count of saying they don't make them like they used to in a single afternoon has currently and sadly reached around 19. Alright, let's break down the numbers of our 3 documented phases of parentomorphosis. Around ages 25 to 35, this is phase 1, and around 68% of subjects reported experiencing echo phrases, or verbatim repetitions of parental expressions. The top 3 health-related examples by percentage are as follows. We got a 63% for "you'll catch a cold," and 77% of "I'm not tired, just resting my eyes," and around 82% that initially applied to TVs that now has evolved into phones, tablets, and computer screens would be you hearing you say, "Don't be so close to your screen." Interestingly, around 74% reported developing identical medication organization systems as their parents, and I found myself arranging vitamins from Monday to Sunday last week. So probably 74% of you will do the same. Now, phase 2 occurs between ages 35 to 45, shows the emergence of identical and physical health complaints, with around 89% of subjects developing at least 3 conditions mirroring their parents. The statistical breakdown is fascinating. So around 77% develop the exact same trick knee, or a trick knee is a condition where your knee suddenly buckles beneath you. This means that your knee loses the ability to support your weight and suddenly gives out. Also, 83% adopt identical food intolerances, announced dramatically at family gatherings, like gout, seafood, or lactose intolerance from previously non-existent discussions suddenly are now good talking points in family events. And, wait for it, a whopping 91% unconsciously replicate parental posture and walking patterns. Gotta notice that. According to Davis and Brown's pain mapping research, it showed remarkable similarities in weather-sensitive joints between generations, or also known as when it's too cold or warm, then your body part gives some kind of spider sense. And even among subjects living in entirely different climate zones, their pi value was less than 0.001, which is, in scientific terms, you're doomed. By phase 3, or typically after age 45, the numbers become even more alarming, because 88% acquire identical chronic conditions with detailed weather sensitivity narratives, and 94% create elaborate vitamin regimens reminiscent of parental systems, and 97% develop strong opinions about proper health habits that are usually imposed on others.
Hey there, responsible humans and pretenders alike. Taking a quick adulting break to remind you that growing up doesn't have to be all taxes and lower back pain. If you're enjoying today's adventures in grown-up land, hit the like, follow and subscribe buttons, or just send us a telepathic high five. We'll feel it. Your support helps us continue making adulting less terrifying for everyone. Plus, following us is meal prepping for your ears. Content ready whenever you need it. And now, back to pretending we understand life and its mysteries.
The health impacts show interesting statistical variation, though. While 62% reported improved preventative health behaviors due to parentomorphosis, such as regular checkups and dental hygiene, 78% simultaneously developed their parents' most irritating health-related habits, like discussing bowel movements at dinner parties.
Ugh, such a vibe killer.
Perhaps most concerning is by midlife, exactly 86% of subjects had adopted their parents' health narrative style, characterized by extensive chronological detailing of symptoms. Our research found that the average length of these narratives increased by 2.7 minutes per decade after age 40. Come to think of it now, we understand the uncle who keeps on talking about the weather and the pain on his joints. The psychological impacts vary significantly. Our data shows 43% reported existential distress upon first recognition, while 67% eventually achieved acceptance. As one statistically representative participant noted, "I used to mock my father's elaborate stretching routine before mowing the lawn. Now I perform the exact same routine with identical grunting sounds." Our findings support the hypothesis that parentomorphosis accelerates following major life events, particularly home ownership. Our data shows a 37% increase in parentomorphic behaviors within 6 months of closing on a first home. Can we prevent this transformation? According to our regression analysis, no. In fact, data suggests that resistance merely delays the inevitable and may actually accelerate the process by a factor of 1.4. Now let's talk about technological interventions. One research team actually developed a smartphone app that alerts users when they begin speaking in their parents' voices. In the beta test, the average user received a whopping 14.3 alerts per day. So apparently the app had a 94% deletion rate within 48 hours, with users citing existential dread as the primary reason. Ultimately, our statistical analysis suggests that turning into our parents serves an evolutionary purpose. And so, the key takeaway here is that everything in excess is bad, so it's highly recommended to keep things in moderation. Googling and self-diagnosis without seeking licensed professional help may potentially backfire and do more harm than good, so always consult and seek licensed professional help. As the ancient proverb suggests, and by ancient, I mean we made it up for the conclusion of our episode, the circle of life includes the circle of complaining about lower back pain in exactly the same way your parents did. That's it for today. Join us next time when we break down the statistical probability of you buying the exact same brands of household and technological items as your mom, which is a shocking 93.2%. And if you enjoyed this episode, please rate and review. Or as 77% of adults would say, after all I've done for you, the least you could do is leave a 5-star review. Nah, kidding aside, do hit the like, follow, and subscribe buttons for more about funny life discussions.
Well, that's all the adulting we can handle for one episode. If you've made it this far without forgetting, If you've fed your pet or suddenly remembering that you forgot to water your plants, congratulations! You're better at this than we are. I mean, sure, I still put my shirt on backwards this morning, but I noticed before leaving the house. Growth, thanks for joining our celebration of small victories and magnificent mishaps. If you enjoyed today's adventures in grown-up land, smash that like, follow and subscribe button like it's bubble wrap you found in a package, therapeutic and satisfying. Remember, adulting isn't about perfection. It's about collecting hilarious stories for your next dinner party. And tax deductions. It's definitely also about tax deductions. Until next time, keep your health high and your cholesterol low.